Hey guys, as you'll see, I've got an Avis, a Casp and an Avis in front of me. Now, the reason that they are here, and they're not part of this actual main video that I'm going to make, but it was January 2015. Well, I was ill in bed. My back had gone, and I was laid up. I had my laptop on my chest. I thought, I wouldn't mind having a little look at some lockpicks. I've got some cash in my pocket. I'll see if something on YouTube is any good. And I happened to run into Bosnian Bill's videos. And I ran into them head on during January. I think I must have watched in the region of 300 in January. So anyway, going on from what he said about tensioning and binding orders and all the little things that we find very helpful, I decided to order myself some lockpicks and see what I could do with it, basically. And I ordered them from Sparrows. They took about 3 weeks to get from Canada to me in Wales. And during that time, I watched a couple of hundred more Bosnian Bill things. The actual picks themselves arrived on February the 9th, 2015, so 1 year ago today. So I didn't run out, I hobbled out to the local hardware shop and decided that I needed some locks, and these were the three ladies that I bought, the very first locks, and they constituted the first 3 videos that I ever made. I'm always fond of these locks, and always will be. They'll, I'll never get rid of them. They're always close to my heart. So I just thought I would pick them now, as it is my 1 year anniversary of lock picking, and I thought I'd give them a little cameo to the main event of the birthday present that I bought for myself. So my first birthday present, what am I clamping that up for? I bought an American. Now some of you might be thinking, it's just an American. It's a Series 3700, it's a UFJ, works clockwise, does turn anti-clockwise, but does not open anti-clockwise. And if you notice, it's got the knowing sidebar click when it hits 12 o'clock. And the reason for that is it has a Medeco 51S biaxial core in it. Now, I have picked it both ways, but today, as it does not go anti-clockwise, significantly, I will be trying to pick it anti-clockwise, okay, and then getting the lock open from there, doing something a little bit different to what I usually do. It's a variation on the same thing, but get to use my Christmas present that my sister bought me. Now, some of you will already know what I'm on about, so I'll say no more about it now. So, the key. Okay, so when I first saw this key, I thought, geez, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cuts on that key. What the hell? And I checked through the pins, and I thought, no, there's only 6 on the key pins on the lock. So scratched my head for a little while. Every Medeco I've had in the past, I've never had a key for, so I didn't know what to expect. And it took me about 3 or 4 minutes before I actually figured out that it was because of the shape of the key pins. Now, every downward V cut is where the key pins sit. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the key pins are shaped sort of a diagonal bottom like that. So it's like a canine tooth. And some of them are facing front to front and some are back to back. So this is the bit here where the tip of the key pins actually sit inside the cuts on the key. So the first cut is there. There's quite a way to the second cut there, and the third cut is there. So they're back to back because they're really close. As are 5 and 6 because they're really close. And these are facing front to front because they're wide apart. Now, also interestingly on these keys, I mean, I've seen other people talk about them, but I've never had one to sort of have a look at. But the key pins are also, they've got a little grommet on the side, the top side of them, and there's a channel down each side of the pin chamber that they can move within a certain amount of degrees, and that allows them to sit at angles in the cuts on the key there, like that. You see they're diagonally cut. Okay, if you need a bit of a closer look on that, let me just hold this up. Hopefully you can see that. Sorry, I got my finger over the end. Okay. Right, so I said about the sidebar, we know it's a Medeco, we know it works well. There's a dead core after, so there's no spring action after it's popped, and it does not pop anti-clockwise. I think I've covered all the bits that I wanted to cover before we have a crack at it. Okay, so let me just get something to protect the keyway. There we go. And make sure we're in proper focus. Okay, so I've got a little bit of tension on here. So I'm going to start at the front because I have to dig my way in. I think I've overset something here. Sorry guys. Bit on 5, 4, 3, 1. Okay, 5, little creak there on 3, bit on 1, bit on 6, feels better. not 3. Hey, there we go. Okay. Sometimes I can get it quicker than others, but yeah, it's a bugger if it's not set up right. It's a tricky little lock. Right. Let's just refocus up. Let's get my waffle. Ah. Oh yes. So, it hasn't popped, does it? Oh. So what I'm going to do is, I've got this Goso plug spinner I got for Christmas. So I'm just going to cock it and fire it up and stick it in here. Right, so the best thing to do, I've worked out, is to take this back as close as possible to 12 o'clock. And there will do. Obviously we don't want to lock it back up, and spin her in. And popped. There we go. So it just gave me, this was a perfect lock to give me the opportunity to use the plug spinner. I hadn't used it, and my sister had asked me about it, and when it arrived and I saw that I could do it that way, and it was slightly easier to pick that way, I thought, well, why not? Bit of a gimmick, somewhat different to do on the 1-year birthday. Right, so I've got to be careful now because of the sidebar. So take the cover off. Now if I take it back and just make sure I'm all in shot of it. Take it back to there. Pop that through. So I've got the sidebar here under my thumb. Tell you what, I'll just show you this briefly with the key. Okay, so the sidebar is there. When the key is in and everything is up to the shear line, the grooves on the sidebar actually go through into the grooves, I think into the pins if I'm right. And then the sidebar retracts. You can feel when it retracts actually when you're picking it. Okay, so there they are all in, and if you see the grooves there on the side of the key pins. That is where I believe the sidebar goes into. If I show you this side, you'll see the little grommets on the top of the key pins that fit in the channel and move around there. They're just at the front here. And you probably see in pin 6, you see there's a bit of an extra cut at the side. You see it on all of them. I don't know why some have these little holes on top and some don't. Not sure about that. But there it is, all in and working. So, sidebar out is the first order of business. And it just falls out. There's 2 springs in there, which just push off everything, and that's it. Okay, so pin 3 is jammed. So yeah, see, that's a perfect example. If you haven't got it exactly right, they come out of the sort of rudimentary housing for them. and they don't sit properly. So one is a serrated, 2 is a standard, 3 is a serrated. When I say serrated, they got a big serration in them. Five is standard and 6 is serrated. Now there's nothing special in the core over and above what it already has as its normal measures. I suppose it doesn't really need anything further in the core. So it'd be a bit hard to thread it. You know, the action, the motion, the mechanism wouldn't work as well. Okay. So up top we have got a standard, standard, standard. They're all standards apart from one. I've been in here before. I've made this video before. So mushroom spool and a standard at the end. Now I got to this point yesterday, and I dropped the sidebar and it hit the key pins off and everything went everywhere, and it took me about 10 minutes to find everything, so I stopped it and started again. It's a blooming nightmare it was. Right, okay, let me just show you a close-up of this. This is where I got to. It all slipped off like that, exactly. So let's not do that again. Okay, so hopefully you can now, if I shine a bit more light that way, hopefully you can see the canine tooth of the key pins and why they don't sit in equal spaces on the actual key, because the bottom of the key pins are the ones that sit in the grooves of the key. Okay. Then up top, unfortunately we've only got a mushroom spool, but for the purpose of this, it's probably for the best. Otherwise I would still be trying to pick it. Okay, and there is the sidebar there with just the 2 little springs and the 6 teeth that go into the grooves of the key pins via the holes there in the actual plug. Okay. So there we are, my first birthday, and I would just like to thank all you wonderful people, all you wonderful friends that I've made in the last year. I don't quite know what life was like without you guys and lockpicking and all the lovely videos you do and the stuff I've learned from you. So I appreciate it, appreciate your friendship, and yeah. Here's to many more. So take it easy. I will catch you very soon. Be good.